Please make sure that you have already gone through the other presentations on biochemistry in terms of what is spectrophotometry, what is absorbance, kind of reactions, difference between standard and calibrators, etc. Only if you are clear on those concepts should you proceed with this presentation. When we try to understand the quality of a biochemistry kit, we look at a few factors. These factors will define whether a kit is of a high quality, an average quality, or a low quality. One of the first things that we see is linearity. Very simply, linearity is the maximum concentration which can be accurately detected by a kit. So for example, let's take the OCC glucose kit. Our ozone clinical chemistry glucose kit has a linearity of 500 mg per dl. This means that concentrations up to 500 mg per dl are accurately reported, and concentrations above 500 mg per dl may not be accurately reported because the kit does not detect values above 500 mg per dl. Hence, the linearity of this kit is 500 mg per dl. Obviously, higher the linearity, better is the quality of the kit. The second factor that we have to look at, which is even more important, is what is the kit format? Are the reagents lyophilized or powder form, or are the reagents available in a single reagent, or are they available in two reagents? Briefly explained, lyophilized means powder form. In this case, the kit contains no liquid but only a powder in a vial. The lab should add a fixed amount of water, mix the powder in the water to make a reagent, and then finish the reagent within a certain number of days or weeks. On the other hand, we have reagents also available in a liquid format, either in a single reagent or in a two reagent format. A two reagent will have R1 and R2, reagent 1 and reagent 2, which have to be mixed and used within a certain amount of time. And a single reagent is probably the best because there is only one bottle with the reagent which is to be used till expiry. So obviously the best is single reagent because no preparation is required and the kit is stable till expiry. The second best is two reagent because the two reagents are stable till expiry, but once mixed they can be stable for a few weeks. And the worst and the cheapest is lyophilized, whereby the user has to manually add water to use these kits. There are associated issues with lyophilized, both in terms of expiry and in terms of accuracy. The next feature that we need to talk about is incubation time. As we know from the previous presentations, especially for endpoint reactions, the reagent has to be incubated along with sample for a fixed amount of time. The lesser the time, the better it is, so that we can get results quicker. The next aspect that we need to consider when we are evaluating a biochemistry kit is the packaging and the pack size. The packaging should be good, that it can be stored in a fridge, and the pack size can be of different types. For a large user, they would generally prefer a big pack size which will have a lower cost per ml, while for a smaller customer, he would prefer a smaller pack size so that there is no wastage. Most kits, once opened, have a shelf life of a month or 2 months or 3 months. So accordingly, pack size should be looked upon. Another important aspect is the sample volume, because sometimes we are dealing with pediatric samples which require that we have a very little amount of blood or serum or plasma. So the lower the sample volume, the better is the performance or better is the characteristic of a kit. A more important concept is the concept of stability. Stability can be of three types. A, the expiry, which is the time in which the kit can be used from the date of manufacture. B. Working reagent stability, or the stability of the reagent after adding water in a lyophilized powder or after mixing reagent 1 and reagent 2 and using them together. And open viral stability, which means after the reagent kit has been opened, in how many days can this working reagent or the reagent can be used. Obviously, more the stability, better the kit. You would like as a user to have a kit with longer expiry, good working reagent stability, and high open viral stability. One more thing that we incorporate in a biochemistry kit is a lipid clearing factor. What happens is that in samples which are turbid because they have a very large amount of lipemia or fats, uh, the absorbance can increase not because of the reaction but because of this turbidity. In our kits made by Metrosozone and also some other manufacturers, we incorporate what we call as LCF, lipid clearing factor. These factors will dissolve the turbidity in a sample and make the sample quite clear. Because of this, you will not get falsely elevated results. You will not require any external reagents, and the whole thing will make the kit more accurate. Now coming to OCC, or ozone clinical chemistry, we want to communicate to you and we want you to be aware that when you are selling an OCC kit, practically all our ozone clinical chemistry kits have these features. A. They have very high linearities. For most of these reagents, the linearities that we offer are the very highest. You will not get other manufacturers with kits with higher linearity than ours. Second, all our reagents without exception are liquid stable. We don't sell any lyophilized or powder form biochemistry. Third, not only the reagents, all our standards are liquid stable except HDL and LDL. Even our standards for turbidimetry for RF, CRP and ASO, they are liquid stable, while most of the manufacturers have lyophilized standards for turbidimetry. Fourth, many of our reagents are of a very unique format. For example, our creatinine. This was India's first creatinine in a monoreagent format. Our uric acid is also in a monoreagent format. Our triglyceride cholesterol, monoreagent or single reagent formats. These kits are stable till expiry even after opening. Fifth, most of our reagents have a very low incubation time as far as endpoint reactions are concerned. Sixth, our assays have excellent expiries, generally between 18 months to 2 years from the date of manufacturing. And more than that, we have absolutely world-class working reagent stabilities. While an average SGOT SGPT kit has a working reagent stability of 1 month, some of the reagents that we offer have a reagent stability of as much as 2 or 3 months. So we have very good long open vial and working reagent stabilities. And almost all our kits incorporate lipid clearing factors or LCF, which improves the accuracy of the kits, reduces the interference from turbid samples, and avoids falsely elevated or avoids wrongly high results. It reports the correct value of results for multiple parameters. So these are some of the features which generally you should know about biochemistry, and while we will discuss specific parameters as well, you should know that all these factors that we discussed, our OCC range is at the very top in all these factors.